Hey, how's it going, everybody? Before I show this to you guys, I don't know if it's because it might be a few years old or if it's just scarce, but I can only find this for sale on two sites for this car. And the other thing, only one site, and I'm going to be showing it in another video. It's also a hydrogen based thing, which happens to be brand new sealed. This has been opened, but it's brand new, man. It's never been used. I scored big time on both of these. But one of the sites is one of those Japanese retail type sites, kind of like the way they do Wish, where it's a little bit of everything, and they just happen to have both of these items for insanely high prices. This was the first thing I found. It's day apart on finding these, and price was high enough. And then the other thing, I happened to find that, and then either the next one down or just a cheaper version of it, and it was still way up there. So it shows this stuff's just outright expensive. Everything else that I found that's similar to it, just outright expensive, especially when it's for schools or whatever, for the teacher to show this off to the students, which basically that's the situation with both of these. They're either for a teacher to show to their students on hydrogen power, or for some company or whatever to do the same thing, like a presentation to show on how hydrogen power works in fuel cells and whatnot. As they're set up as presentation kits. This one just happens to be all ready right out of the box. You don't even need to supply your own water. It's got a bottle of distilled water with it in a special bottle made for the car, hence sealed. So I'm trying to think of another kind of bottle I can use, like maybe just a large size Visine type bottle where it's got a small enough stem to get into the fill points on this thing, because I haven't tested it out with hydrogen yet. I don't know if I'm going to, man, once I find a legit place that sells this. Otherwise, Japanese place just way up there once I converted it from yen to US dollars. And then on the car, found a little bit more legit site that specializes in this kind of stuff, just science kits for teachers and students or whatnot. And they were pretty much showing everything the site makes, like they might be one of their distributors in New Zealand. So I don't know if it's New Zealand or it's just this thing's outright expensive, but their price wasn't much lower than what they were showing on the Japanese site. So it could be this is just a very expensive item, and I scored big time, and Goodwill just had no clue on it. Otherwise, here's what it is. It's High Runner GT, and the company that makes it, I did go to their website, and they're not showing this. So I don't know if it's something where you gotta get a hold of them and then they send you the order form where it's got all the stuff, so they're just not showing as much or what. But they were showing one similar, but definitely one where it looks like a science kit, to where everything's exposed on the fuel cell, to where it's just the bottom part of the car with the wheels, and then everything just stacks onto it. This is just more like the H2Go, where it's all covered up and stuff, made to look like a prototype car. Otherwise, their site's still on, so it's still a legit site. Anyways, here's what the car looks like. And on this site from New Zealand, they're showing 3 variations of this kit, to where the cheapest one is just for the car and the owner's manual, nothing else. This is the middle of the road, where, find it here. This one you get the car, power supply, which basically looks like a cell phone type power supply. It's only 5 volt. And they got it to where I could see why they don't want little kids messing with this. Is it's basically bare wire. Instead of having a plug, it's literally got an electrode on each wire to plug into the car. And then this one comes with a custom-made solar panel rig that goes on top of it, so you can charge it up by the solar panel if you're playing with it outside. Also, I found out, and so far I haven't found it in here saying anything, you can use that solar panel to power the car. I was just playing around with it and I flipped it to on, as it's just got an on-off switch, and it started going like a bat out of hell just with the solar panel. And then I'm thinking this book might be a generic thing where it comes with everything that they sell that has to do with the fuel cells. It's like a teacher's handbook, where it just says fuel cell technology for classroom instruction. That, if I wanted to break the seal, which I don't, is it's still sealed up in cellophane. That might give a year on when this is made, but I'm wanting to keep everything as minty as possible on this. Hence the little bottle that came with it, still sealed. It's one where you gotta cut the end off, so I'm just keeping everything as is. That right there is the solar panel, which I'll show you how that looks on the car. It's got one on each end. Solar panel alone, they're showing on the side, is to buy everything separate. It's freaking more money than what I spent on this, man. It's expensive. Oh, and also, for anybody that saw my video a few years ago or recently where I'm showing off my H2Go hydrogen-powered RC car, same thing. It's hydrogen fuel cell, but that little bit more trouble on trying to get it going compared to the way they got this set up. That one, you got a separate little fill station that you put your water in to create the hydrogen. Hence, the fuel cell in the car does not create hydrogen. It just burns it or whatever to make it go. This, it does both. That's what it looks like there. Fuel cell to the bottom of it. And then those black things sticking up are basically rubberized caps for the fill points. So there's 3 areas where you add in the distilled or deionized water. It's basically the same thing. And then old school on-off switch there, just on and off. And it's set up to where you can either drag race it down a straightaway just to see how long it will run on the hydrogen, which they're saying 4 minutes. Or it's got a bar between the wheels here with notches, so you can have it in a turn position so you can just go around in circles like on a track. Another look at the fuel cell there, and then the little motor to the back of it. Pretty basic setup. This, following the tubes here, looks like these tubes go to the sides of the fuel cell, and then there's the one on top. And then these tubes go off of the fuel cell, possibly into here to where it's like an overflow for any extra water. Until I try it, I don't know, because it acts like you put water into it until this area fills up, and then some of it will go into the cell. So, just don't know until I try it. And it does have measurements on there, so you know exactly how much water is going into it. There's the solar panel here. Panels. The red there. You can see the plus sign, so obviously that's positive, and then opposite side is black for negative. Anyways, that's where you either plug in the wires on the power supply or plug this thing into as it just sets. That's how it looks like with the solar panel on it. Like I say, it will run off the solar panel. I didn't put it on the ground. I was just holding it like this under sunlight, and it seemed to go pretty fast. Once you put it on the ground, I don't know how much power it's going to have. They say 3 minutes on this to charge, and then 1 minute on the power supply. So obviously this is putting out less juice, but it may be just enough to make it go good. I just didn't want to put it on the ground or anything and get this all nastied up. Say, a little squeeze bottle of distilled water. And that's where you'd have to cut the end off, and then this stem here is where you stick that into the little fill holes. That's why I'm thinking maybe a large size bottle like Visine type stuff or something, where it's got that little stem, as long as it will fit. Or I can just modify something, because I don't want to open this. So give you some safety glasses. So power supply looks just like one you'd get with a cell phone. That there's one of the electrodes for negative. So I got this teacher's handbook, but it is still sealed up. So I don't want to open this up. It's just crazy that there's no date anywhere on this on when it was made. It's got the holder for the books and stuff, and then it shows a picture of the car and everything, but no place that shows the date of when this thing was made, let alone year. So that's what I'm still trying to research on, is to see how old this is. It's not like this technology is new, so this could be an old kit and they just took really good care of it. So, now for the holy sheep shit part. This is where, if these prices are legit, damn did I friggin' score. Okay. This Japanese site is Rakuten Global Market. And the website address is just global.rakuten.com, and then you'd have to look this up. I say they're showing sold out, so it could be this is an old page. And we're showing the same thing on the other items, so I don't know what's up with it. Anyways, they're showing 66,960 yen, which came out to right around $600, which just damn. And this other site, for just the car by itself, $400. For what I got, $535. And the one that's got the RC set up, I have no idea how much it is. It just says price on application, please email us. And they don't have it to where you can click on the picture and get multiple pictures. It's just one of each item. Otherwise, the car, I can't see on it even that it's got that transparent body to see where they put all the extra electronics for the RC. Otherwise, it's just got an antenna sticking out of the car. And then, not real basic, Not nearly as basic as the one that you get with the H2Go, is in that little, just fit in the palm of your hand thing. It's kind of just a cheap looking version of a fancier type RC where you got the two little joystick type things. It just doesn't look really high end in the picture. I'd have to have it in my hand or whatever. Yeah, it looks like that's all you got is the two controls for forward, back, and then left and right, so you can't steer it with that. And then maybe a little on-off switch to turn that on. Just don't know. I mean, for so much money that these things cost, you'd think they'd give you a really high-end remote control with it. Otherwise, man, it's obviously more than $535. Just for the solar panel that fits on top of it, they're wanting $80. And on these cars, they've got one to where I haven't seen this kind of setup before. They want $700 for this thing. It's got a regular type fuel cell stack, same as what's in the car that I got, to the front of it. And then to the back of it, it's like a round type fuel cell something. It says, this is our most realistic model of a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. Has a two-cell stack that uses hydrogen and air. Charging time is about 30 seconds. Running time is about 7 minutes. So maybe the thing to the back of it is the water tank or something. I don't know. It doesn't have any hoses hooked up to. It's one to where you got to buy all the stuff to hook it up. It's just the bottom of the car and then the fuel cell and this thing to the back of it, and it looks like the same kind of old school metal on-off switch. And then they've got a whole bunch of other fuel cell type kits. Like they got their hydrogen gas station, kind of like the way the H2Go car has, but this is more science experiment looking, where it's got 3 decent sized looking solar panels on it or whatever, so you can do it in the sun. Looks like it's got a fill bottle to the back of the solar panels and then another fill bottle to the front that obviously collects the hydrogen, as I can see the thing to inject it into the car. So I don't know what that would be for. And then about the same size cell that would be on the H2Go's fill station thing. And then a couple other solar panels, small one and fairly large one. Small one's $28, the next one up $60, and then the one that's custom fit for my car is $80. They got custom lamps, so if you want to do the solar thing, you can do it indoors to where it puts out enough light. And then extra cables and voltage testing type stuff, this, that, and the other. On the cars, this is more what I've been seeing online that they still happen to sell from their website. They just call this the High Runner. And it's basically just the bottom half of the car and then just everything stacked on the frame. No top half to make it look like a prototype car. Anyways, that's $300. The next one's $385. So, see what I mean, guys, man? Either way, if it's half the price, if it's a third of the price that they're asking on these sites, I scored, because I only paid $20 for that thing. The other, I'm going to leave that as a catch, man. Even better on that. So I'll try and get that video done tomorrow. I don't think it's supposed to be as bad on the weather. At least I'm hoping for it. So this video's long enough here. Otherwise, I got to get out tomorrow, so I will see if I can make it over to Goodwill. And who knows, there might be more stuff. So hopefully all this is from the same person, or maybe a school donated stuff. Who knows? They get weird donations at my store. What's funny is the other thing, before I quit here, I'm starting to collect these good old school ghetto blasters. So far I just less than a handful. But anyways, found a really freaking cool one where I was ready to snatch it up. It's just it was sitting on the floor for some reason. It's because the guy that grabbed it had set it on the floor, not thinking, and walked around the opposite side of the shelves and was trying to find a power supply. So he should have been carrying it with him, but it was big. It was about as big as the one behind me there. That's my old school 70s system, just newer, really freaking cool looking. So he scored, and that was only like $750. It's where the prices just I don't get it. Stuff that should be expensive sometimes is cheap, and then broken stuff is priced expensive. It's just I don't know who does it, but they crazy. Fortunately, these two things, man, obviously they couldn't look them up on eBay. I couldn't find either of them on eBay or Amazon, so that could be why they just threw a price on them. Didn't bother. So, catch you guys in the next vid. Have a good one, everybody.